When I started block printing, I had 5 tools and materials, and one of those was a pencil, so we're not even going to count that one in this video. And honestly, that is all you need. It took me a long time to figure out what I actually needed versus what I was influenced to buy, what I thought I should have, and what was just clutter. So today, I'm going to show you exactly what I would tell a beginner to buy if they are just getting started with block printing, including what I would buy again and what I would skip. And before I get into it, I just want to say down in the description, I have a link to a free download that will go through everything I'm going to talk about here, plus all of my tools and materials that I use in my business, from block printing to my art business to the software I use to the equipment I make these videos with. Everything is in that one spot. So go ahead and grab that if you want the full picture. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. I post lots of block printing videos and I have lots more to come. All right, let's get into the tools. The first tool you need is something to carve into. There are lots of options when it comes to block printing. I tend to veer towards the soft rubber blocks. This one is Speedball. You will always know it's Speedball because it's pink. It's called Speedy Carve. Generally, this is my top choice. I keep coming back to Speedy Carve. It's reliable, it doesn't get crumbly, it stays soft, it carves smoothly, it lasts a long time, it prints consistently. This is the block that I buy again and again without any hesitation. Next, you need something to carve with. I started block printing using one of these handles with these interchangeable blades. The blade set comes with literally everything you need. Lots of V and U-shaped gouges in a variety of widths, so that means that you can carve really broad lines and really skinny lines. And it all comes in one handy-dandy set. It's really all you need to get going, is this handle with the blades and the block. Now, ink. When I started block printing, I actually started with these little Memento dewdrop inks, and you can buy them in sets. I've linked them in the freebie. And I used these for a really long time. I like them because they're really easy to handle. You can see that's what they look like. They let me buy lots of colors without having to have a ton of these ink pads. But I will say, by far, my most favorite ink pad is this one, VersaFine Clair. They're pigment ink. They are super juicy. If you've ever had a marker that you think of as juicy, this is the ink pad version of that. It is so amazing, so pigmented, so beautiful. I mean, look at that. So nice. I think ink pads are a great way to start your block printing journey because there's like no cleanup. You don't have to roll out ink, you don't have a brayer and tubes of ink. This is what helped me to really kickstart my block printing. Is I was able to carve and print really quickly. The cleanup was quick. If you're working in a small space, I would say block printing with ink pads is a really, really great way to start. So start with one, find your favorite color, start printing, and then over time you can add more colors. You could start with a set of dewdrop inks. They usually come in sets of 12. So that gives you a good variety of color to start with. Or you can buy single ink pads. I have also used other ink pads that work just fine. These are great. But if you want my favorites, it's these two. And the last thing you need is paper. You do not need any specialty paper to start printing. This is printer paper. It is absolutely fine. Start here. It's what you probably have in your house already. If I were to recommend any additional papers, which you might want to add to your toolkit later, there are 2 things that I would recommend. And that is, first, some tracing paper. And I use this to take the drawings I've made, trace them out, and then I can flip this over and transfer it onto my block. I reuse every sheet of tracing paper until there's not a little bit that I can actually use. So this pad of tracing paper I have had for well over a year. So it's a small investment considering how long it lasts. The other kind of paper I would recommend is newsprint. And also I have had this pad of newsprint for well over a year. It's 100 sheets. and I like to use it to test my blocks. So this is something I've been working on recently. I wanted to see how do the flower petals look, so I just inked it up really quick, tested it, and then I can go in and make little notes about what I want to change. And so I will reuse this piece of newsprint until it's completely exhausted, and then I move on and use another sheet, which is why this pad of newsprint has lasted for so long. But honestly, you could get away with just printer paper. If you don't want to buy tracing paper, you can put your paper in front of a window and trace out your design and then transfer it to your block. You can use the printer paper instead of newsprint. I just like the newsprint because it really absorbs the ink really well, so you can really see your print. But really, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is absolutely all you need to get started. Now, I want to show you 2 additional tools you could add to your toolkit once you have used these for a long time. When I started printing, this is all I used for, I think, at least 6 months. Basically, I wanted to prove to myself that I was going to stick with this medium. And once I hit that mark, then there were a few things that I bought to kind of level up my printing. After I had printed lots of different prints, I had tried lots of different motifs, lots of different styles. I knew that for my work, I wanted to be able to carve a finer line than I could get with the tips inside of this handle. So the next thing I bought was this tool. This is a file tool, not like file folder, but I'll spell it out for you on the screen. This is a single tool. So unlike this handle where you change out the blades, this is one handle, one tool. And I bought it because it makes a nice fine line. It's a tiny V-gouge. Could probably not even see that. But this tool really helped my prints to get to where I wanted them to be, so that I was able to carve those really tiny detail lines that I was looking for in my own work. That's all I did. 6 months in, I added one tool. Now, this tip came to me from Autumn, who has a great YouTube channel all about block printing. I'm going to shout her out in this video. But she recommended using a kneaded eraser. And so this is a pretty new one, so it's kind of nice and sticky still. And so you can use this to go into your block. And sometimes you'll have little pieces of the rubber that you can't really see very well, and they're stuck on your block. You can take the kneaded eraser and just pick up any of those little pieces. And once you have a misprint where you see those little pieces, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But I love this idea. The other thing I use this for is if I'm printing with a really light color, sometimes the graphite will mix in with my ink and muddy the color. And so I also use this to kind of gently go in and just reduce the amount of graphite that is on my block. And that, I'd say this really bothers me the most when I'm printing with yellow, because the yellow and the gray kind of mix together, and then the yellow isn't as vibrant as I would like. But see, you can see there's a little bit of rubber stuck into this. This thing is less than $1. It's like a few cents. And it is brilliant. And Autumn, I cannot thank you enough for sharing that tip with me. I love it. So there you have it. 4 tools to get you started and 2 to grow a little bit. Again, if you want the full list of everything I use for block printing, for my business, and for this channel, check out the link below for that free list. And if you are ready to start actually putting those tools into use, watch this video next. It's my beginner's guide to block printing, and it is a great place to start. Happy printing, and I will see you next time. Bye.